Okay, let's have an assessment of what this side of the car looks like. So if we start with the rear, since that's where we are, I very much suspect, and in fact, yeah, I can feel it in there, this is very similar to the other side. So this is going to be, we can see it's already cracked here, in fact. So this is going to possibly need a replacement. Under here, same, and this is clearly filler around here, so might want to clean that off. It looks like some work cleaning along here has been done, and it's been painted with something. We do have a big hole here for the rear quarter light, and no hinge either, so the bottom hinges look like that. So we've got a hole in that post without a hinge there. Inside here we've clearly got lots of filler. So this piece on the other side had been replaced. This piece here had been replaced on the other side. It hasn't been replaced on this side. So I think we might find that this isn't in the best condition along here. And I mean, we can see that they've got filler all the way in there, so probably have to do something with that. I'm going to have to learn how to get this trim back in as well. I can't tell if it's just, I can't tell if it's glued on there. Yeah, it's glued on, isn't it? Anyway, so we're going to have to deal with that. This door is a lot worse condition than the other side, so it's okay up top here, but down here quite a lot of work to do there. That looks like it's been done, so I don't know if it's been done on the inside as well, although I think it might have been, because when I've been under the castle rail there's a little bit exposed which looks new, although it doesn't at the front. Right, then we've got a big dent here. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a big dent in here, so that's going to need banging out. And then when we get underneath the car, let's have a look. Okay, so we have very big rust problem just around here, and all the way up here. But then it seems to, at first glance, improve as you get a bit further back. So I think what we're going to do is, hang on, and then at the front here we've got a bit of rust here in the corner. So what are we going to do? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to, and right, let's not finish. And then here, this isn't in properly. I don't know how to get it in. And also the seal along here is gone. So we're going to have to look at that. All right, so that's what this side looks like. So we'll start at the front again and work back. But I think what we'll start, I won't, before I take the wing off, because I'm not 100% certain I want to, although I almost certainly should. But before we take the wing off, we're going to get underneath, and we're going to take a wire wheel to the underside, see what it looks like once it's cleaned up a bit under there and how big the rust is, and then we'll work from there. So that's what we're starting with on the passenger side front wing. Right, I've given it a good clean, and we have a fairly decent sized gash in here, but I don't think it looks too bad. So first of all, we've got this little bit here, which seems to be the only bit that's from the actual wing, and so I'm inclined to try to do that bit first, cut around here and up, and do it whilst I've still got it connected up, because that way it's easier to shape the patch and get it right, because I don't have any other template to use. So I think I might do that first. And then what I've got here, I think, it looks to me like this is a patch which has just been welded over the top of a previous piece, as is this, another patch over. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to go, I could go all the way up here, okay, and along here and down and cut all of those out. I've got this sort of triangular piece that comes in, so I think what I might try to do, rather than a complicated patch, is fit a square-ish one that goes along here, a triangular one that butts up to it into here, and then a third one, a straight one again. This here again is clearly been welded over, so a third one that comes along here. And I think it doesn't go all the way across, so it just comes and butts up to this bar, which must be the inner sill. Alright, and so that means I need to cut the castle rail back to about here at that point, and then rebuild the castle rail up to there, and then loop it up to the top. So in fact, the castle rail probably is the bit that comes onto here, thinking about it. So actually, maybe, yeah, anyway, so I think that's what it looks like, which isn't too bad. And instead of doing lots of little patches, as I did on the other side when I was kind of learning initially, I think I might be trying to, I haven't got many big pieces, I've only got one decent sized piece of metal left, but I can always buy more of that. Oh, and I've got an old BMW door as well. I'm going to now go inside the car, take out the carpet, and see what this looks like around here, and how much of this needs actually to, if it needs to go back further. And then we'll have a look at, so right, the other thing is, if you look inside there, I don't know how well I can make it show. Well, actually it's probably best as it was originally. But you can see it's quite black, and actually this is a little bit greasy. So I think that's wax oil all the way back there. And when I've looked, although I can see little bits of rust, what I can't particularly see is any rust holes or anything like that. And this all feels quite firm underneath if you look the rest of the way back. And in fact, this you can see here, this was exposed, so this all looks good. There's a little hole here that might need fixing, or it could just be used for putting wax oil in here. So overall, I think, yeah, that's what we're looking at anyway. Now we just need to start tackling it now. Right, so the reason I'll do this, and then I think the panel has to come off, because this bit here goes behind this protector, and it gets bolted on. So this piece of rust here, in order to fix this properly, I need to take this panel off, which is a shame, because I might find lots more in there, which I suppose isn't a bad thing because I can fix it. It's a shame because in order to get that off, I have to take all the bolts along the front off, in there, a bunch in here, which are really hard to get to, and down here. So it's a right pain to get off. Having said that, having got it off, it might be easier to get this dent out. Right. Well, from this side it does look a little bit worse. Having taken all of this, started cutting through all of this stuff again, we can see that, okay, so that's okay, but this goes back a bit further. So this is a piece of metal that's been welded just on top of that, and it's cracked all the way back to here. But it then seems fairly solid. So, and although this is rusty, again, it seems quite solid. So I think we'll get a wire wheel in here. We've also got a bit up at the top here. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, but what we'll do is we'll take a wire wheel along this stuff, clear it out a bit, and see what we need to do up there. And then once we've cleaned that out, we'll have another look at what welding we want to do around here. Yeah. But this side looks better than the other one did. If you remember, the other side we had lots of rust patches in here as well, which probably should have done something with but didn't. So we've had a lot of water trapped under the floor pans, but the sills again seem to be in better condition. So time to start some wire wheeling in here. We cleared it out a bit more, and we do have a tiny little rust patch just here. This bit up at the top is solid. I've hit it a few times with a screwdriver, so although a little bit rusty, solid, and of course it's all solid up top there. So we've got the floor panel rusting all the way back here, which so that's about there. I can just see my finger poking through. So if we look at where that is underneath, so that's here, and we're underneath. So we're underneath, and this bit looked like we had it about right in terms of what it looked like, but it goes back further, and it goes back all the way to around here, and so it's where the floor goes over the castle rail, so we can see we've got seam cellular there to fill it, but that's where it goes back to. So we're going to have another look at how we do this, but I think what I might aim to do is one piece sort of coming up here to about there, to cover that off. Another one around like that, the triangle, and then of course the castle rail as well. So maybe that's how we'll go about it. We'll see. And we might actually, thinking about it, maybe we'll take this out. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Okay, so we've changed plans in terms of approach. moving forward. So what we're going to do, this is the castle rail, so this is top edge of it. So what we're going to do is we'll cut out this bit of the floor. So we will take some and we'll cut it to go along here as far as it will go, and then out and around to join up with this. And once we've done that, we'll look at the next piece. But this is floor, so it should come up here, and then this is castle, and so it should be another piece of metal underneath it. Okay, so we're going to try, well, we're going to clean that up, but we're going to try to make that happen. Okay, so we've been making progress, but we just ended up starting underneath, and we can see right. So what I've actually done is I took out this bit of floor over the castle rail. That's glued back in and connected up to here properly on the inside. Second piece out here, and then a third here. Now I need to fill in the hole here, and up here there's where the floor is, you know, corrugated or whatever. I actually got a bit of a gap here which I need to fill as well. I don't know quite why I decided to do this bit first in the end instead of the panel as I originally said. But that's what I went with, and then I've had got a slight problem with my welder in that last night it's got stuck on the welding wire. It is in not the best of shape. I didn't have another one of the right size. So I've ordered them, and I'm waiting for them to come in. So in the meantime, I need to work on something else. So we're going to have a go at this dent here. Now it's actually quite big because it goes all the way out here, all the way out here. But if we can pull it out, then that, you know, might just well, help us get there. So that's what we're going to try doing. We're going to give it a clean with some, you know, just to get the muck off there with some white spirit or something, and then we're going to use hot glue to try to start pulling the panel out, and we'll see how we get on with that today. So that's our current project. So I glued all the bits on straight up. You can still see where the thing was. On the bottom one I used this puller here, and I was squeezing it and it just popped off. On this one, instead of squeezing, I just pulled it like that and it suddenly popped out. It's the first time I've ever had success with these things, and so most of that's come out. We've still got a bit of a dent in here, and you can see it. So we're going to unstick these, and we're going to try a little bit around here as well now. I'm stunned by that, really stunned. So after my initial success there, we didn't make any further progress. So we do have a bit of a dent here, and here, and down at the bottom here. But those are all, and I've given it a bit of a sand to see if I can see it any better. I don't see myself getting it off or getting it out. I've tried a good number of times, I'm not getting anywhere. So I'm going to leave it as is, and I will use a bit of filler on it to get its shape back. So that's okay. Right, my welding bit still isn't here, so, and I don't really want to start doing other bits. So what I'm going to do is start creating some of the patches, I think. So even though I can't weld them up, I can create the patches in advance. So we will start with this one, and I don't really want to have to do too many of these lips because they're quite difficult. So that's, mind you, it's only 3 turns. So I think what we'll do is we're going to do one across here to fit in, and we'll probably have to go from the other side of here. So we'll do that first, and then we're going to cut the castle rail back here somewhere. We've got a bit of castle rail, so they come up to here, and then we need a big bit to come down and connect up to it from up here, which should go in back here and screw on. So we're going to try just undoing this bolt and bending this out of the way rather than taking off the whole wing. So we'll undo this bolt and see if we can just bend the wing out of the way a little bit in order to get a piece in for there. And that would come down here. And then I've got a couple of holes that I just need to fill up. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start here and see what we can do. So we have our first patch here. It's going to come in like that. And this top end I will, once I've got it in place, I will trim that off a bit and curve it around the end there a little bit. This will come back in like that, so that will give us everything there. So the next thing, I'm going to cut the castle section here and do that piece. Okay, so this is the next bit, and this will go on here like that. I just need to grind this down a bit so I can get it a bit flusher, a bit more flush, a bit flusher, I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, so that'll go in there like that, with some of these welds ground down a bit. And then I'm going to weld a piece of metal onto the edge here and flatten it out so that it comes up and around like this, to cover this area off. And I'm going to do a little patch over this as well. I don't think I will, I think I'll just put something over the top of it rather than, so grind this down and then just weld something on, rather than trying to fit something in this hole. And then we'll have a look at where we've got some little holes, such as here, and attempt to fix those at that point. And we'll fix this back on in place once we've got the bit under there. So I'm probably going to have to cut this off as well, which is why I've got this loose. That shouldn't be too difficult. So, but I don't want to do that until I got the patch. I don't want to build the other bit of patch until I've got, well, I can't because I need to weld them together, so until I've got my welder I can't do that. So I'm back to being a bit stuck again, really, for things to do. So I think I've got rust all the way along the edge here and here, so I think we might just do a bit of some grinding a bit over here as well. So we might do some grinding just to get it down to metal, and then put some primer on it, so at least we haven't got rust there. I think that sounds like the most sensible thing to do right now. So I decided wherever I had a bit of surface rust, we'll clean it off. So you can see all the way along here, just on this side. Clean it off, get back to metal, and get some paint on it just to protect it. So we've done all of that, and we started working along here where it was bubbly, and I've gone as far as here, and yeah, it was quite rusty under there, and we can see we've got bubbles here still. We've got bubbles here all the way along the other side, so I'm going to have to do all of this. Only bit I'm really worried about is we actually have a hole here as well, so we'll have to deal with that. But you know, there we are. I am going to stop for the day. Very early for me to stop, but I know my welding stuff will be arriving tomorrow morning, so I'll be able to pick it up in the afternoon. So I'll be able to get progress tomorrow, and so I've got some work that's come in, and I'll do that tonight rather than in the morning, so that I can get started on this as early as possible. So plan for tomorrow will be to finish off this section under here, get the pieces I've fabricated in, create the new bit, weld it all together, stick it in, and that should then be good. And actually, I think that would actually then mean that this door, this floor pan, and the driver sill, the driver front wing is done. Considering it took me 6 goes on the episodes on the other one, I don't know if that's because this is in less bad condition, because the wing isn't off, I haven't gone in as much, or what, but certainly quicker. It's probably a mixture of many things. So after that I will move on to this door, and what I might do is I might go to the back first, then come back to the door. Very nervous about this door. It looks like it's in dreadful shape down there. Yeah, very nervous about this, so we'll see. Anyway, but plan is hopefully this week to finish off this front wing. Not painting, just all the welding and stuff. That's the plan. So we're finished welding under here. As you can see, I decided to, instead of trying to curve it around all in one, bring it together, I did it like I did on the other end. I got a light on the inside so that I can see light coming through, and that all looks pretty good to me. So we are going to do the same as we did on the other side now. We're going to wire wheel all the way back to the jack-in point, just here. And then we're going to paint it with hammerite. Both sides will then be done with hammerite, and I still want to go over them with seam sealer, which I've got, just in case I've got any gaps. So anywhere I've done welding, I'm going to put in seam sealer, or anywhere where there was welding previously, we're putting in seam sealer, and then over the top of that we're going to put this weatherproofing stuff that's already on there, that gives it a bit more protection. So we're doing that next. Well, I thought with my hammerite I was going to be finished here, and I realised I hadn't done this little bit here, which I've now given a nice curve to. But more importantly, back here, and I've forgotten about these bits, so we're going to give those a bit of, well, we'll start with some wire wheel, then we'll move on to grinder and see how bad that looks. And whilst I've been doing this, bits of the door have been falling off. I'm not looking forward to having to tackle the door. It just looks dreadful. I don't know what I'm going to do there. But that's not today's problem. So yeah, I'm going to deal with this now and take a wire wheel to it and see what that looks like. So we've got 2 smallest bits here, one there and one down here. I think this I can probably cut out, this one up top, I could probably cut out and replace. So I'm going to do that first. I think the one on the bottom might be a bit more difficult. but I'm going to try to do that as well without taking it off. We're going to give it a go. I don't really want to have to take it off is the problem. So we'll start with the top one and we'll see where we get to. So we've got our 2 patches made up, one for here at the top, and then oops, one down below, just here. So we're going to put a bit of zinc primer on the back of those, just to protect them. Then we're going to weld those in place. And looking good, yeah. Then we'll, get some filler over them, and not bad. Okay, and here we have the 2 bits welded in place, just done. So, normal thing, bit of fiberglass filler over it, and then proper filler or the other stuff. And so tomorrow we're doing that. And we got a bit of a bump, a bit of a dent here, and something down here. I think it must be here. So we're going to we're going to sand this down a bit and get some filler in there. Just sand these drips off, so that is then ready to go. So yeah, good progress. As for this door, if I don't know, let's get light around here. You can see here. This is the I think that is that the skin of the door has actually just here. The skin of the door has actually come away from the door. So I reckon if I open this up, we'll see it's come off completely. So, as we get under it, yeah, we can see it's just it's just so much rust here. So they just, as with everything else, what they've done is, it's been a very skilled person with the filler, and they've gone around and put filler over everything without any metal, or without replacing the metal. So the rust has just continued. I don't know what I'm going to do about this door. Well, I do. We're going to sand it back, and then we're going to go from there. It just looks really like a big job. So we've started applying the filler, and we've already had fiberglass on here, so that's looking pretty good now. I put some regular old filler on top, and then across the couple of bumps here, put quite a lot in. So we're leaving that to dry, and in the meantime we're going to try this seam sealer. So this is what we're using, which looks like that inside. It says apply with a nylon brush, so I assume this is nylon. Seems a bit soft for it, but we're going to try applying that now to both sides at the front, going across all of the seams and all the joints where I've welded. So that's going on next. So there we have the front wing done. I mean, it clearly needs painting still, but other than that, we've also gone through and done both the underseal, sealer. So this is the sealant, and then we've got the underseal as well for different sections, strips and stuff. So that should, and I've done both sides now, so that should ensure any well protected against the rust. So there we have it. Moving on to the door next week, which is going to be a lot of work. Okay, hope you're having a good time. Bye.